Good evening. This meeting of the Pender County Board of Education is now called to order. A quorum has been established, and at this time, we're going to ask Mr. Spivey to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Would everyone please stand?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And everyone, if you'll please remain standing, we have the Pender County Schools All-County Chorus under the direction of Noah Melton to perform our national anthem and a song, Today's Hope, and that will be displayed on our video. Everyone may be seated, please.
Today's hope is a flickering candle that was a snow dusting window. Today's hope is a sweet
and gentlemen, that was our all-county chorus under the direction of Noah Melton, and I know that they were not here in person, but I still feel like they deserve a round of applause. I hope they're listening tonight. Number 4 on our agenda is our invocation. For our invocation tonight, we welcome Mr. Garner Akins.
I don't even know if I need to follow that up.
They are sweet.
Madam Chair, board members, Dr. Breedlove, cabinet, guests, thank you so much for being here. And thank you for the honor to be able to open up in our invocation as well. So at that moment, if you would, let's bow as we go to the Lord in prayer. Our most kind, gracious, and Heavenly Father, we just thank you so much for the year that you provided for us up to this point. Lord, we thank you for the days that you will promise us. We ask that you will be with all of those that are here today, that you will grant us safety, you will grant us provisions as you see fit. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this board, and we pray collectively and individually over this board and all the people that are represented here today, Lord, to know that we have the assurance of hope. Lord, not that we have to worry, not that we have to doubt or fear, but Lord, that we have hope that you are in control of all things. And we just pray, dear Lord, that we do our best to serve others. We thank you so much for the members here. We thank you for their commitment and the things that they do behind closed doors that we don't even see. And we just pray that you honor their efforts. Lord, we all know that we have one body, we have one mind and one ability. And we ask, Lord, that we not try to seek to serve others, but we try to serve you, and that you will guide us in the way that we should serve others. But Lord, we just pray over every single student that enters in this campus and on this county, that you will keep them safe. Lord, that you will let the kindergartners all the way up to those getting ready to enter college, that they can finish so strong. We thank you for the product that you're providing here at this county, and we thank you for the people. We love you and we thank you. And we ask these things in Christ's name. Amen.
Okay, for right now, we're going to circle right back around to number 2 on our list, adoption of the agenda. At this time, do we have a motion to adopt the agenda?
I'd like to make 2 changes to the agenda, if everyone is agreeable.
Okay.
First is to remove item 10.7, the 3-tier bell schedule, and the second is to add an item of my own, item 10.8, for high school graduation times and dates for next year. And I'll elaborate on that when we get to it.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And the motion is approved. Thank you. We have an amended agenda. Yes, sir? Yes, sir. Okay, thanks. At this time, we're going to move on to our recognitions. Mr. Paintbonner?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We have 3 different groups to recognize tonight, so we'll get right to this. I'll bring up our Director of Digital Learning and Media, Craig Lawson, who is going to recognize individuals from 2 different schools. Easily, one of those students has read more books in their elementary career than I did through my college career, so I'll let you go ahead and update them.
Yes, thank you, sir. Good evening, board members, staff, families, and guests. Tonight we have a pleasure of recognizing 2 outstanding student teams whose dedication to reading, teamwork, and academic competition has brought great pride to Pender County Schools. Battle of the Books is no ordinary reading program. It is a fast-paced academic competition that challenges students to read a curated list of books and then compete in head-to-head competition with teams from other schools. During each round, teams are given quotes or specific details from one of the books on the list, and they must correctly identify both the title and the author. It requires not only strong reading comprehension, but sharp recall, strategic teamwork, and a genuine love of literature. This year, both our winning teams went on to represent our district at the regional level, where they each earned the impressive 3rd place finish as testament to their hard work and preparation. Let's begin by recognizing South Topsail Elementary School's team. So they read an impressive 16 titles that were on their list, and I'd like to, yes, it's amazing. I'd like to invite Ms. Sally Kennedy, the media coordinator and coach, to come down and introduce her team.
We have a very small team today. We had 7 participants. 3 of our teammates were able to come today. We have Easton Wiggins, Santana Robinson, and Sophia Grant.
All right. We'll get pictures real quick.
You squeeze in like you want to. There you go. Thank you. All together.
Yeah, and we'll ask you all to just stick around for just a little bit because we want to get a picture at the end with the board. That'd be great. Next, we'd like to celebrate the incredible efforts of Topsail Middle School, whose students tackled a list of 20 challenging titles at the middle school competition. I now would like to welcome Miss Amy Engel, the media coordinator and coach, to come down and introduce her team.
All right, I just want to brag on these guys for a little bit, for just a second, because this is an incredible group of kids. They're middle schoolers that read 20 books. They chose to do that. It's pretty incredible to see them want to do that. So I'm very, very proud of you guys. So thank you for all of your dedication and hard work. And I'm really proud of them getting third. Okay.
Awesome job.
All right, this is Miss Markajon. I'm Amy Engel, by the way. I am obviously the media coordinator at the middle school. This is Miss Markajon. She was my assistant coach. So glad she's here. I've got 3 8th graders. Half of my team are 8th graders, so I'm losing them. So I'm very sad, but I'm so happy South Topsail is bringing me some 6th graders that got third originals too. So thank you for that. But the 3 that I'm going to announce first, they were in Battle of the Books all 3 years. So Emily Atwood, congratulations. Peyton Kalis. Sorry, I totally did it out of order.
No, it's all right.
But I had to recognize these 3, and Charlie Markajon. My other 8th graders that joined us this year were Gavin Mastro, Jordan Corbett, and Hallie Gray, but she couldn't be with us tonight, so she was my other 8th grade. And my 7th graders are Emery Fong and Paisley Parnell. So come on over, 7th and then Emery. And my 6th graders, Ari Finch, Emily McCauley, Audrey Hemingway, last but not least, Delaney Rummel. Awesome, thank you. They did a fantastic job.
Round of applause.
Get a picture of you all together, and you can go up behind if you want.
I'm going behind. Shorties, come up here. You guys can come up here. You're good.
Are we holding up their certificate?
Oh, yeah, hold up your certificate, but not in front of your face.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. We'll get the ones from South Council to come up, and we'll get the board members behind them. And we'll do everybody once. Parents, I share my pictures with the school, so they can share with you as well if you want those.
And Dan? Oh, thank you.
Do you want to sing while you're up there? Ms.
We are
Burns,
not
come over
singers.
a little bit.
We are readers.
There we go. Just want to make sure that all faces. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Thank you all. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Nice job.
As they make their way out, I'll bring up Dr. Michael Sasser, who's the principal at Topsail High School. Dr. Sasser is going to recognize a group of individuals from the Coast Guard JROTC at Topsail High School. I don't know if the folks in attendance know this or not. That program is one of only 6 in the entire country that we have at Topsail High School. So Dr. Sasser, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Chair Burns, board members, Dr. Breedlove, thank you so much for the opportunity to honor our Coast Guard program. And before I bring them up, I certainly want to highlight some achievements that over the past 3 years, we are 3 years celebrating our 3rd year in existence, and certainly in 24-25, we have a lot to celebrate. So several bullet points that I want to mention to you. In total, we have 106 total cadets. This year, we completed 1,400 total hours of community service to include 3 Adopt a Highway events as a unit. The Color Guard participated in 21 events throughout the area to include school events, the Coast Guard Ball at Camp Lejeune, Spot Festival, and many other local community events. We completed our Raider competition course with the assistance of parents and community sponsors, enhancing the level of training for our team. This year, we competed in 4 events and placed in the top position or 2nd place in each competition in the co-ed category. The team placed 3rd or better in 18 of the 19 individual events and qualified for the first time ever for the Army Best of the Best competition. The unit won both the Fall and Spring Cadet Fitness Challenge, which is a competition between Coast Guard JRTC schools nationwide for the most physically fit unit. The unit went on 3 field trips. 1 to the Coast Guard Station Emerald Isle, where they learned about search and rescue. They also toured and sailed underway on the Coast Guard cutter Maple, a 225-foot vessel that does aids to navigation. The final trip was to Wilmington International Airport, where they flew on a Coast Guard C-130 airplane from the coast of Topsail Beach down to Bald Head Island. This year, the unit organized a wonderful military ball for the first in the unit's history. We were honored to have former Coast Guard Commandant Carl Schultz, the commandant who awarded Topsail High School with our first JRTC program. And finally, the unit is very proud to have all graduating seniors either joining the military in some form or beginning their college years this upcoming fall. 2 cadets here with us, and I will introduce them shortly, have been accepted to a military service academy. We have 4 cadets enlisting directly into the Coast Guard, Air Force, or Army. 2 cadets have earned ROTC scholarships, and all other graduates have made commitments to colleges along the East Coast. At this time, please allow me the chance to recognize 3 outstanding cadets who have had a large impact in our success. If you'll please come forward. When I call your name, if you'll step forward. Lieutenant Evelyn Steiner. Cadet Evelyn Steiner is the unit's executive petty officer, where she serves as second in command of the cadet cadre and is responsible for supervising all unit staff members and ensures all aspects of the program are running smoothly and that we are continuously striving to enhance the cadet experience within the community and JRTC program. Evelyn has been a member of our very first class we had in the fall of 2022. She is a member of the varsity lacrosse team and has volunteered hundreds of community service hours. She will be attending the Coast Guard Academy preparatory school for 10 months, then will be attending the Coast Guard Academy in New London, Connecticut. Next, Senior Chief Petty Officer Emma Danford. Senior Chief Petty Officer Danford serves the vital role of mentor and leader for all in the cadet chain of command and is the senior advisor to the cadet commanding officer. Emma has served as our Raider team captain since we first established the team in fall of 2023. Over the past 2 seasons, she has inspired others to join the team, which began with 5 members and now has over 20 athletes. Emma earned the Iron Shark Award as the most physically fit cadet in the Army Best of the Best competition. Emma also holds the national record for females in the Coast Guard National Cadet Physical Fitness Challenge. Emma volunteers countless hours as a mixed martial arts trainer. She is our first cadet to receive an appointment directly to a service academy. She will be attending the United States Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland, where she hopes to become a pilot in the future. Chief Petty Officer Matthew Kelso. Cadet Matthew Kelso has been a rising star in both the JRTC Color Guard and Raider programs. His hard work and dedication recently earned him the U.S. Submarine Veterans Chuck Fletcher Hard Charger of the Year Award. Matthew has become one of the most supportive and encouraging members of our Raider team and was one of the 2 leaders of our recently formed second competition team. When one member had to drop out of the competition, Matthew volunteered to run 2 legs of the event rather than the normal 1 leg, exemplifying what it means to go above and beyond. Matthew is passionate about marksmanship and will be taking a leading role in our marksmanship program, which will begin next year at Topsail High School. Matthew is a rising senior who plans to enlist in the Coast Guard as a gunner's mate. These cadets... These cadets and the unit are proud to place its focus on growth and development through the acronym COAST, which means citizenship, operations, advancement, service, and teamwork. Can we please give them a big round of applause? Thank you. Oh.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Awesome. Please go. The board members.
Perfect. Right there.
Evelyn, I'm just making sure.
No, stand right there. You're good. Stand right here about this. Here.
All right, this time Ms. Burns. Take it. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3. Awesome, thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you.
And then our last set of recognitions, Superintendent Breedlove will recognize, we had 3 students from the various high schools in the district this year serve as interns for the Board of Education, so he'll highlight the students.
Yeah, absolutely. So tonight, I'm honored to be able to recognize 3 exceptional student leaders who participated in the Pender County Schools Board of Education student internship. And tonight we have two of those students with us. But a little bit about the internship. It was designed to engage students in school governance, communication, and policy that we operate by, helping them develop their own professional and leadership skills that they will use beyond graduation. Throughout the spring semester, student interns completed 3 key assignments based on communication, analysis, and leadership skills, helping them bridge the gap between what the district does, what the county does at this level back at their home school, and that gap in between there, see the impact at the school community. And so first, I will ask both Morgan and Daleen to come on up, and then I'll talk a little bit about both of you. All right, but first, I do have a student. Her name is Janai Jane. She goes to Pender High School. She has a scheduling conflict. She's at Pender High School tonight, so she could not be here. But a little bit about Janai. She's a junior at Pender High. When asked why she applied for the internship, she said that she wanted to expand her impact as a student leader at the school. And her plans for next year are that she hopes to use her leadership role in Pender High School, looks forward to applying what she learned at internship back at the school for next year. But with us tonight, we have 2 fantastic students. First is the senior, and we have Morgan Augustine. She's a senior at Topsail High School. When asked why she applied for it, Morgan said that she wants to grow as a leader, build community connections, and advocate for greater educational opportunities across the district. And then for next year, I know that Morgan has applied for, been accepted to Duke University, where she will attend. She's going to focus on her major as global health and international comparative policy, focusing on the goal of improving women's and children's access to healthcare services and education on the global at the global stage. So I want to congratulate Morgan for a job well done, and both Morgan and Daleen serve on the superintendent's student council, and so I meet with them regularly throughout the year, and they've done a fantastic job. But congratulations, Morgan. And then next we have Daleen Murillo. Daleen is a junior at Pender Early College. All right, and when asked why she applied, Daleen said that she wants to be a voice of change for her peers and to help make meaningful difference in Pender County schools, of which you've been able to do on both accounts there that I've worked with you. What's next? Next year, obviously she's going to be a senior. She's planning on applying for, and I know, I have faith that you'll get accepted to Brown University, right? Because you are an outstanding student, and you've proven that all year. And she hopes to major in human biology. So congratulations. Please give both of these students a round of applause. And can I have board members with us?
Awesome. Ready? All right. 1, 2, 3. One more. Awesome. Go. Good luck. Congratulations. And that ends recognitions.
Thank you for that. Some really great recognitions tonight. Moving on to number 6, public comment. The Pender County, sorry, my microphone is now on. The Pender County Board of Education welcomes the opportunity to hear from the public during its regularly scheduled meetings. The public comment period is open for all members of the community, including parents and students, to express compliments, concerns, and complaints regarding the performance of school personnel, the implementation of board policy, the quality of the education program, or school facilities. According to policy 2310, presentations are limited to a maximum of 3 minutes. Obscene, vulgar, or profane statements or statements reasonably perceived to be disruptive or imminently threatening to the orderly operation of the meeting shall not be permitted. Okay, so at this time, we have our first speaker, Mr. Steve White.
Good evening. My name is Steve White. First, I want to acknowledge that there is a real problem that needs solving and fully recognize the positive intent behind the efforts being made by this board and the administration. I truly believe you are trying to do what's best with the information and resources that you have, but intent doesn't always translate to impact, and the public's frustration is growing. Right now, when something controversial arises, it sparks a wave of confusion and online backlash. Emails flood your inboxes, misinformation spreads, and trust erodes. This reactive cycle is not sustainable. I urge you to shift the process from reactive to proactive. Going forward, consider a more structured approach to public engagement. Survey the community before decisions are made and policies are introduced. Use that feedback to inform a thoughtful educational response, perhaps even a brief YouTube video that clearly addresses the most common questions and concerns. It's a simple but powerful way to bring people along on the journey. I know that the 3-tier schedule has been pulled off the agenda for this evening, but there's also an open question that I haven't seen fully addressed related to that. Childcare before school. If the plan is to ask more of our already overextended teachers, we're heading for a staffing crisis. You will lose good educators. We need clarity on this and, more importantly, a sustainable plan. Ultimately, what I find most concerning of all is what I believe to be a fundamental misalignment in priorities. The data you've presented at prior meetings clearly shows that Eastern Pender County's growth is outpacing our school capacity, even with the new school coming. The real challenge isn't just programmatic, it's structural. It's time to make tough decisions about redistricting and long-term capacity planning. If additional funding or support is needed, bring the community into the conversation now. You'll find that we're more willing to support bold action when we feel informed, included, and respected in the process. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. White. Elton Tucker.
Good evening.
Good evening,
May it
sir.
please the board. Let me congratulate you on doing a job that's not always recognized, but when you see these kids up here tonight, you realize what a job it is. I was asked to speak about the naming of the new school going up over at Hampstead. I'm speaking in hopes that you'll name it after Jack Lee. I was asked to speak, and I've thought about it, and I won't take much of your time, but we name schools, bridges, roads, public buildings after folks that have done something for us. Bridge up here, trooper got shot to death in the line of duty. It's named after him. Highway section's named after Michael Jordan. Famous people that have done stuff. Jack Lee, to me, represents what Hampstead has been in the past and what it's going to be in the future. He worked hard for his community. He made a successful business. He helped a lot of people, and he donated a lot of time and effort and spots and other seafood and things to his community. I just don't know. My connection with Hampstead goes back probably 40 years, but I don't know of any other person that I've heard of that has done any more for the Hampstead area and deserves recognition any more than Jack Lee. He was a fine man. He was a wonderful friend. And I'm just tickled to death to be able to stand up here and ask you to name that school after him. It'll be a lasting memorial, just like these kids are going to be a lasting memorial to you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Dorothy Lee Medlin.
Thank you, Board of Trustees, for our school board, and thank you for having me here today. My name is Dorothy Lee Medlin. I am the granddaughter of Joseph Hampton Lee Sr., known as J.H. Lee. J.H. Lee family is truly honored that our grandfather's name is being considered for the title name of a school in Hampstead. We remember him as a kind, generous man who cared deeply for his family, community, country, and county. In 1918, J.H. Lee established the J.H. Lee Wholesale Seafood Company in the heart of Hampstead along Highway 17. His business grew, and so did Hampstead. J.H. Lee employed choice salesmen for his business who made lifelong careers in Hampstead. He purchased seafood catches from all the local fishermen and shrimpers. He also employed many boys for after-school and summer work. J.H. Lee believed in education, taking opportunity, and giving opportunity. He was not particularly a political man. He believed a man wrote his own story, and during wartime, all but one of his 4 sons were called to serve. One son stayed in Hampstead to help the family. Another son joined him when he returned from war. Eventually, the other 2 sons began their own seafood businesses, one in Wilmington and one in Moorhead. His children and some grandchildren attended Topsail High School. One 5th-generation grandchild is a graduate of Topsail High School, and another 5th-generation grandchild will be a sophomore there this fall. J.H. Lee encouraged all of his family to be educated and to see the needs of the community, including involvement in the Spot Festival and the fire department. His business supported local churches and other community efforts. The fish house was earmarked for students to sell baked goods, raffle tickets, and various promotions. His parents, many relatives, including an infant son, are buried at the Hampstead Presbyterian Graveyard. J.H. Lee, his wife, and their other sons now rest in Hampstead Methodist Graveyard on land he donated to expand the space. We remember our grandfather as a thoughtful man, and behind his desk hung a plaque with the poem of the wise old owl. As grandchildren, we recall playing checkers with him. He had a playful spirit and used those moments to teach us to think and be observant. We had to watch his every move. J.H. Lee Wholesale Seafood was a landmark in Hampstead for almost 100 years, and the company proudly represented the seafood capital of the Carolinas. The building was removed in 2024. Thank you for considering his name as part of the future of Hampstead. J.H. Lee is Joseph Hampton Lee, my grandfather. Jack Lee is the son that returned from the war and helped my grandfather. And I just felt like I needed to clarify who was who.
Thank you, Ms. Medlin. Ava Craven.
Hello, my name is Ava Rose Craven, a 5th-generation grandchild of Joseph Hampton Lee. I'm reading on the behalf of Linda Rulo, who cannot be here with us today, but wrote a very kind letter. Dear school board members, I'm writing to share some reflections on J.H. Lee & Sons, a truly special family business that profoundly impacted our community for generations. Their support for local families was remarkable, from purchasing fish from our fishermen to expanding operations across 7 states along the eastern coast. It was evident that J.H. Lee instilled strong values of community and collaboration in his children and grandchildren. J.H. Lee's son, Bert Sr., played an instrumental role in uniting the community to raise funds for the volunteer fire department, notably through many oyster roasts. Having joined J.H. Lee & Sons in June of 1987, just before my first Spot Festival, I was immediately impressed by the deep commitment to our community. Each year, they generously donated and cleaned the fish for the festival, always ensuring the best catches were reserved for the event before the salesmen received their supply. This act of giving back was embraced by the entire sales team. Beyond the fish, J.H. Lee & Sons also sponsored the North Carolina Spot Festival Queen Pageant, providing a significant $2,500 educational scholarship, reflecting their value of education. The grandchildren were actively involved in running the pageant for many years. J.H. Lee & Sons was recognized with an award for 40 years of dedication to the Spot Festival pageant and also received an award from the state of North Carolina for their dedication and outstanding service. Their dedication to education extended further. They fostered a love for learning in young community members by rewarding children with a $100 bill for bringing in report cards with all A's, which served as a wonderful initiative. The company also supported the Topsail baseball team by purchasing baseballs, and everyone at J.H. Lee & Sons actively participated in school fundraisers. The generosity of the J.H. Lee & Sons was also evident during the Christmas season. Every employee received a ham. Before placing the order, the company would inquire if anyone knew the families in the community who could use a ham for their Christmas dinner, ensuring those families received one. Additionally, whenever a community need arose, the salesman could collect funds and the company would generously match their contributions. I could share countless more examples of their selfless contributions to the community for which they never sought recognition. Their generosity truly came from the heart. J.H. Lee & Sons was more than just a business. It was an integral part of our community's foundation, and its legacy of support and generosity is truly memorable. I am submitting these reflections to be read. I will be unable to attend the meeting in person due to being in Arizona. Sincerely, Linda C. Rulo.
Thank you.
I will also be reading on the behalf of Jacob Lee, who will not be able to be here today. My name is Jacob Lee. I am a fourth-generation seafood dealer from Hampstead, North Carolina. I have worked, lived, and raised a family here in Pender County, just as my father did and his father before him, and so on. I am a product of Topsail Schools K through 12. So when I say that naming this school means something to me, know that it does not come from a hollow ground. Naming the new school J.H. Lee Elementary would not only honor the man who gave hundreds of hardworking Pender County citizens jobs, like me, it would also help honor multiple other members of the Lee family that have helped shape Hampstead into the thriving community it is today. It won't take much digging to find that Mr. Lee was generous in his community. His legacy in the seafood industry is nationwide, and his passion for Hampstead outshines all of his accomplishments. A simple drive into Hampstead will leave you asking yourself, how did we become labeled in the seafood capital of the Carolinas? Well, folks, not only can I tell you how we did it, I can tell you who is responsible. Thank you for accepting my proposal in naming the new elementary school, and thank you to Mr. Tommy Reeves for his involvement. I hope that one day we can have this same conversation about him. Sincerely, Jacob Kendall Lee. Thank you.
Thank you.
She is 14 years old. That's a mature youngin' right there.
Randy Burton.
Madam Chair, Vice Chair, board members, staff, Dr. Breedlove, good to see you. I'm not usually on this side of the podium, but it's great to be here tonight, and thank you so much for allowing me just a moment to speak with you. Thank you for the opportunity for me to speak before you tonight in reference to the naming of the new Hampstead K-8 school, which is progressing along greatly, I understand. This is a decision you're soon to make that's not taken lightly. It's going to impact the historical framework of Hampstead for years to come, way beyond us. I've thought about this for some time now, and I'd like to just make a suggestion to you tonight and emphasize what some of the speakers before me have said. And I fully support and suggest to name the school for the patriarch of a family that's been highly connected to Hampstead community for many years, even generations. Mr. J.H. Lee and his family has been a long-term family in the Hampstead and community area, and they're the very fabric of the eastern side of Pender County and Hampstead for well over 107 years. From the first fish company opened in 1918, the Lee family has employed thousands of members of our community. There's far too much that I can say in just a few minutes to speak before you tonight, but I wanted to come before you with the thoughts to expend my support, along with many of my constituents that have reached out and spoken and called me to advise to come and speak before you tonight to make this suggestion to you. The Lee family business has been credited with putting Hampstead on the map, pretty much, and well known in the fishing industry up and down not only the east coast of North Carolina, but from Maryland to Florida. I can't think of no other family patriarch, another family that would be more deserving than Mr. J.H. Lee. The Lee's family is an example of staying committed to your community and establishing roots where you live. Not many folks can say that after spending 107 years planted in the Hampstead area, devoting their family name and reputation to this mission. With that, I'd ask for your thoughtful consideration tonight or when making your decision to name this new school. And thank you for your time and your attention.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Next is Raymond Ballard.
Good evening. I'm Raymond Ballard, and I'm from Wilmington, and I've lived in Hampstead for almost 20 years now. I met Bert Lee in high school more than 50 years ago. It's hard to believe. We were also in business together for several years. The Lee family has always been very generous and involved in Pender County, and particularly in the Hampstead area. Their contributions have helped Pender County for many years and continues today. I highly support the new school being named in honor of the Lee family. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next is Jay Milam.
Good evening. I don't have a prepared speech. I don't think I need one. I'm going to speak from the heart. I've known the Lee family for 30-plus years, professionally and then personally, and they are the definition of good corporate citizens. This J.H. Lee's legacy back here speaking tonight, and I can't think of a better person. I don't think we could find a better family or person to name the school after in Pender County. So I just wanted to come and support the naming of the school as J.H. Lee Schools. Thank you.
Thank you. Teresa Morgan.
Good evening. I stand before you to honor a name that carries not just history, but heart, J.H. Lee. As you consider a name for our new school, I urge you to look at the legacy of a man who built more than just a business, but helped build a community. A man, a name that speaks deeply at the root of Hampstead. When I first stepped my foot into Hampstead some 50 years ago, I learned the best place to buy hoop cheese was Ives grocery store, that you could buy a fly-eating plant just down the street, that there was a shoe tree, that there were parties in the Bougainfield, and that it was impossible to meet anyone in Hampstead, not impacted by the Fish House through either employment, charity, or relationships with J.H. Lee. Sadly, all these things have passed. J.H. Lee was more than a businessman. He created a lifeline for the Hampstead community. He gave working families jobs, he fed families, he helped neighbors in tough times, and helped to provide financial opportunities for a growing community. Through storms and struggles, the business didn't just endure, it served the community. It became not just a name, but a symbol of opportunity and what it means to build something from the ground up. His values of hard work, service, and generosity to his community are values that we strive to instill in our children. Sadly, the Fish House, known as J.H. Lee, is now gone, and with it, the memory of his contributions risk fading too. As time passes, the community that once knew his story is changing. Many longtime residents who recall the impact of J.H. Lee are no longer with us, and as new families move in, fewer and fewer know the story. Let's ensure a vital piece of Hampstead's history isn't forgotten, honoring not just a man or his name, but a mindset and an institution that was carried on for decades by his family. Let's give our new schools a name to be proud of, one rooted in local history, a name associated with community and generosity that will inspire future generations and teach them that legacy matters, that building a better future starts with remembering the people who helped make our present possible. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And y'all are going to have to forgive me on this next one. I can't read the signature. We had a Josh Lee and someone before him. Was there someone who had signed up? Farnell Shingleton. I am so sorry, sir.
Don't let it happen again.
Yes, sir. Not again.
I'm Farnell Shingleton, and I don't have a speech prepared tonight, but I was asked to come and lend my support. I can't think of any name more synonymous with Hampstead and its history than that of the Lee family. So I just hope you'll consider and be able to approve this recommendation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Josh Lee.
I don't have a prepared speech, but thank you to the board and staff for allowing me to speak tonight. My name is Josh Lee, fifth generation Lee from Hampstead. As a young boy, I grew up working at the Fish House. Really, that was the only opportunity for work that I had besides baling hay. So after school, I baled hay and loaded fish. I remember my earliest memories were going to the Fish House and standing in a vat of ice, and it was all I could do to pick up a shovel full of ice and dump it over the side, and work there until I went off to school and came back, so you know, my grandfather, my dad, I grew up working for my dad, my cousins, my uncles, all of my friends, everybody I knew worked at the Fish House. It was a lot of opportunity given to us that otherwise might not have been there. You know, when you come into Hampstead, it says the seafood capital of the Carolinas, but I think that's slowly or maybe quickly it's going to be forgotten. So, you know, I ask that the board consider the name of the new school, the J.H. Lee Elementary. So, thank you for the opportunity to speak.
Thank you, sir. And Mr. Finkbonner, from my understanding, we have a couple of phone calls. Okay.
Hello, my name is Marielle Gnevich-Weiss, and I would like to know what research has been done into adding more bus drivers and more buses, and or redistricting and drawing the new routes for the buses. it seems to me that we are going after a solution that might not actually be the solution because we have not gone into detail about the actual problem. If by chance you have explored this, please do explain to everyone what research has been done or what has been looked into to be able to make sure that we don't have multiple buses in the same community or crisscrossing one another, to make sure that the routes are efficient and or the possibility of adding more buses. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Megan Dell. I have a daughter that's a rising sixth grader at Topsail Middle School and a son that's a rising fourth grader at Topsail Elementary School. I am strongly opposed to the tiered bell schedule for the following school year. My husband travels for work half of each month, and I work starting at 8 a.m. Both of my kids play travel soccer throughout the year and multiple other sports and activities after school. The tiered bell schedule would hinder their ability to get their allergy shots after school and fulfill their activities while getting a healthy amount of sleep each night. My daughter is also interested in playing school sports, but there's no way I would be able to coordinate all of that with the tiered schedule. Thank you so much for your time.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
there was one person who didn't sign the book, but he was here. Can we make a motion?
Mr. McPherson, there was one person who is here currently who didn't get a chance. I would allow that to happen. However, I believe we need to take a vote for that. Okay, so would we have to make a motion?
I would like to make a motion that we accept one more public comment.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And the motion carries. Okay, sir, could we have your name?
I look back behind me and I see all the people from the community. It makes your heart feel full. I'm here tonight. I'd like to show my support for the new elementary school being named after Joseph Hampton Lee Sr. When I think about community, I think about the jobs that support that community. Joseph Hampton Lee started a company that provided those jobs. He started a family legacy whose values, traditions, and belief helped shape this community. The Lee family dedication to building a strong community has truly been inspiring. Their hard work and commitment to making this community a better place are deeply appreciated by all of us. It would be a travesty for the town of Hampstead to continue on without so much as a plaque or some sort of recognition to the Lee family. This town owes a truckload of gratitude between jobs and sponsoring the Spot Festival all those years to the Lee family. I'd hate for it all to be forgotten. That is why I'd like your consideration for the new school to be named J.H. Lee Elementary. Thank you.
State your name, sir.
Yes. Sir? Sir, could you tell us what your name is?
Chris Thomas, born and raised in Hampstead, North Carolina.
Okay, thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Okay, and that concludes public comment at this time. We're going to move to number 7 on our agenda, 7.1, report from the superintendent.
Well, good evening, board members, staff, families, community partners. Tonight, I'm honored to share with you the progress, achievements, upcoming events, and milestones that make Pender County Schools a beacon of opportunity and excellence in our region. As you know, May is here, and May is packed with accountability testing, as our students and teachers and schools will all spend several days throughout May on end of course, end of grade testing. And I firmly believe, though, that this is a time for our students, our teachers, and our schools to shine. High school is really the bookends when it comes to testing. We start the month off with AP testing, and we finished the month off with graduations right after end-of-course exams. Last week, we started end-of-grade testing with elementary. This week is middle school, and so it's around the clock this time of the year. And so just a quick message to our students and our teachers. You all have worked hard all year, and this is a moment to demonstrate your growth and perseverance. We believe in you and know that you will continue to make us proud. To our parents, thank you for choosing Pender County Schools. As you may know, the state accountability system is very regimented and requires us to start on time each day. So please help your children succeed by ensuring that they arrive to school, if they are car riders, on time, eat a nutritious breakfast, and get plenty of rest during this crucial period. Your support at home is vital to the success of the school system. Celebrating our educators. Last week, May 5th through the 9th, was Teacher Appreciation Week and Nurse Appreciation Week. I want to extend a heartfelt gratitude to our teachers and nurses across the district. Your passion, innovation, care, commitment inspire our students daily. Thank you for everyone who have shared messages and videos that Mr. Frank Bonner put out there, the request for. If anybody saw those out on our Facebook page, and that they were amazing and they were very heartfelt. We also had an annual Educators Award ceremony, and I want to congratulate all of this year's nominees for beginning Teacher of the Year, Assistant Principal of the Year, and Principal of the Year. A special shout out to our winners, Mrs. Michelle Lee. She was the Teacher of the Year. She's from Topsail-Annandale Elementary. Also, beginning Teacher of the Year, Sophia Foster from Burgall Middle. Assistant Principal of the Year, Christina Eames from South Topsail Elementary, and the Principal of the Year is Miss Jill Robertson from North Topsail Elementary. Congratulations to each of these 4 winners, thanks to the generosity of the community as well, as our partners donated gift baskets totaling $20,000. Plus, the Teacher of the Year, Michelle Lee, she received 2 round-trip tickets anywhere that a Velo flies, and will participate in the Go Global North Carolina Global Teachers Program thanks to a generous donor as well. So it was a fantastic event, and once again, congratulations to the winners. Upcoming events and key dates. We have several important events ahead that highlight the spirit and achievements of our district, such as on May 17th, Pender Education Partnership has a gala at Topsail Assembly Building. This is the 10th anniversary event that supports our students and staff. Tickets are still available. They can be found on our website or on the Pender Education Partners website as well. Monday, May 19th, the retirement dinner at Burgall Train Depot. This is a bittersweet event for all of us as we honor our retirees, celebrating their legacy while also knowing that their presence will be missed next year. Spring 2025, we do have our graduation ceremonies coming up. Mark your calendars for these dates. Thursday, May 15th at 5, we have Pender Early College high school graduation at Wilson Center in downtown Wilmington. Thursday, May 29th, we have 3 graduations that day. 9 a.m., Heidi Trask High School at the football stadium. At 1 p.m., Pender Innovative Learning Academy at Cape Fear Middle. And then at 6:30 p.m. that evening, Topsail High School and the football stadium. And then that next morning on Friday, May 30th, 9 a.m., Pender High School and the football stadium. These ceremonies are not just a culmination of the years of hard work for many students, but the launching pad for bright futures of all of our graduates. Looking ahead, growth and opportunity. Monday, June 9th, we do begin our summer learning, offering continual growth and enrichment to our students with our summer learning program across Pender County Schools. And then also upcoming board meetings. We do have a committee of the whole on Tuesday, May 27th at 9:30 a.m. And then a regularly scheduled board meeting for June will be on June the 10th, right here at the HRC at 6 o'clock. As we close out the school year, let's remember our strength lies in our unity and our commitment to every student across the district. To our community, thank you for your continued partnership and trust and your tireless support for Pender County Schools. Board members, this concludes Superintendent's report.
Thank you, sir. Right now, we're going to dive right into our information agenda. Number 8, 8.1, artificial intelligence.
Madam Chair, I'm going to defer to Mr. Lawson on this one. Thank you.
I've seen his presentation. It's a good one.
Thank you.
Ask a question.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Was all this covered in committee already?
Yes, sir.
That's all I needed to know. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Would you like me to hold off on the
Go ahead like
presentation?
you're doing. I just had a question. That was all.
Oh, yes, sir. So, I thank you, board, for letting me speak this afternoon, superintendent, staff, community families that are here. I think that this is one of the hottest topics out there right now. Everyone's talking about generative AI, what that is and how that affects not just our businesses, but our education. So we have before you for first read 3 policy updates and 1 new policy that's specific to just generative AI. And I just want to take a moment, again, for the community that's watching that may not have not had the opportunity to be present at the committee of the whole or watch that, to just talk about what generative AI is and why this is so important for our Board of Education to take a look at now, to make sure that we have policy in place to guide our educational system and making sure that we are being safe and providing training to staff and using the best tools possible with our students. So generative AI really just refers to artificial intelligence that is creating something new and unique, right? So a lot of us are familiar with what artificial intelligence is. A lot of us, everyone knows Terminator and the Matrix, right? We've all watched the movies, which probably scares us initially. So, AI really, we deal with it on a daily basis. If you've got a car that will slow down when there's a car in front of you, or tell you when you're drifting off into another lane, that's AI. All those times we know when we open up the internet and it's suggesting what we should put in our next Target or Amazon order, right? That's AI that's doing that. But generative AI is different than that because it's actually creating something new and unique. And so for us, why is this important for us to consider for education? And it's because it has likely, it's likely going to be, it has the potential, but it's likely going to be what really changes our world in a way that we haven't seen since the start of the internet, right? Or cell phones. We think of how tremendous those 2 things have impacted all of our lives. So we need to make a plan for that, right? And so we want to make sure that we are addressing this. These are some interesting facts. I think this is important to note. 66% of leaders would not hire someone today without AI skills. 71% of leaders are more likely to hire a less experienced candidate with AI skills than a more experienced one without them. So this speaks to the impact it's already having on the workforce. And one of our core tenets and jobs is to make sure we're preparing students for what the future holds when it comes to the workforce. So we want to make sure that we're considering these things. So, we come before you this afternoon to really talk about how we can adapt to meet that future need that our students are going to have when they go into a workforce that's utilizing these AI tools. And so some of the things that we want to consider that we think is very important is realizing that not all AI tools are appropriate for all age ranges of students, right? The type of tools that we would make available to elementary students are not the same type of tools that we would make available to secondary students. Protecting student data, that's another big thing that's been in the news recently. The state student information system that we moved away from, PowerSchool, had a data breach earlier in the year. That was a big news topic. But that's something that we take seriously here in Pender County Schools, and we want to make sure that whatever tools we are using, that they are safe and keeping our students and staff's data safe. So we're looking to the future. We want to work to try to find ways to train our staff on how to use these tools, when to effectively use them. We want to consider things like plagiarism, right? Cheating. How is this going to affect, the rigor of our education system, right? We're not saying, and we don't think that it's appropriate for AI tools to be used on every and all assignments or every and all assessments. So it's about identifying when it's appropriate to use, setting up rules on how to handle students that may be using these tools unethically. Everyone's heard of, hopefully, if you haven't, deep fakes, or this notion that we can take someone's image or someone's voice and recreate a video with them, right? Those are things that we unfortunately may see down the road with students. So having policy in place that allows us to effectively deal with those situations when they arise, and hopefully educate our students to prevent those things from occurring here in Pender County, I think is critically important. So again, we've had those 3 policies in front of you this afternoon for the first read. It's the first read only, but we encourage you all to give us feedback. You know, our team wants to hear from you all and what you think we can do to make those policy drafts better before the second reading. Does the board have any questions at this time? I have no questions. No questions. Did you have a question, Mr. Hall? Yes, sir.
Were there any changes in that information as opposed to what we heard the other day?
I just shortened the slideshow up, but other than that, and the committee of the whole presentation, I believe, is on YouTube. So if anyone would like to go back and watch the full presentation, they certainly can.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
I just wanted to say I did take some time to go back and read the changes that you had made to policy. You're absolutely correct in everything that you're saying. This is the next big thing for all of us, and we need to be forward-thinking. Like you were saying, plagiarism especially, that's the first thing that comes to my mind, that students are going to use AI to go in and create essays or whatever they're being at, or whatever papers they're being asked to write. So I think, like I said, this is a good job to get ahead of it. So thank you.
Yes, ma'am. And, you know, we had the opportunity, Dr. Breedlove showed 2 of our wonderful students. I don't think they're here, but earlier that are on the Superintendent's Student Advisory Committee. It was important to note that we met with that committee as well as the Parent Advisory Committee when thinking about this policy, because it's really important that we get that community and student feedback. That's critical to making sure that we're shaping policy. It was great hearing from both of those groups.
Well, is it just me, or is it usually student input that's a little bit more cutting edge than anyone else's input?
It was great hearing from them and hearing how they were using the tools. You know, and that's one of the things that we want to work on is, you know, we've seen a lot of research that parents aren't necessarily sure of, are their students using AI or not? And so we want to also take this opportunity to make sure that we're educating and informing our parents about what students are using, right? And what things are out there. I think that's going to be critical as we move forward.
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you, Board.
Any questions, Board? Okay. Next is 8.2, esports at Pender High School.
I'm going to do the same thing as Kevin because he's the esports guy. And we're going to be introducing esports at Pender High School, so I'm going to invite Craig up to tell you a little bit about esports.
Thank you, Board. Again, I'm just the, I guess, the geekiest person they could find this afternoon to talk about the 2 topics that have to do with technology. So this presentation we also did go over in its entirety at the community of the whole. So I'm just going to kind of shorten here this afternoon, but I think it's a great opportunity to inform our community. We're very excited about this. I'm very passionate personally about this as someone that enjoys video games and did when I was a kid, which was not nearly as cool as it is nowadays, right? So having the opportunity to work with our team to develop an esports program, we're going to start at Pender High School. You know, for us, you know, we think that this is something that our kids, a lot of our students that maybe don't see a connection to their school currently, because maybe it's just not offering something that they feel passionate or important about. You know, the esports, and what esports is, for those of you that know, it's just competitive gaming. I've got some images up here. It's hard to imagine that people will pay tickets to go to a stadium to watch people play video games, but it's happening, right? And it's a multi-million-dollar business. So again, 50% of students involved in esports we're seeing pursue STEM fields. There are 622 colleges and universities out there that are actively recruiting esports players. These photos are from the UNCW. Their kind of gaming lab, I guess you could call it. They have an active esports team now at UNCW. We had the honor to go down and speak with Dr. Pastor, who's leading that up, and seeing what they're doing. And it was great to see that. So we want to bring that kind of our students that opportunity so that they can kind of pursue that if they're interested in heading that way. And to just get their interest in something that they're already engaging in, providing a safe place and space for them to do that. So we're going to work with Vessel, which is a company that works with a lot of schools around the state. They've partnered with the state. They have a regional state level competition every year. There's some photos here of UNCG where they did, I think that was 2 years ago. I apologize if it may have been last year. But we want to partner with them so our students have the opportunity to compete against other school districts around the state virtually throughout the year, and then for a competition later on in the year. So we're really excited about that. We're going to try to start it up this fall. We're going to do it at Pender High School. I think it's a great opportunity for us there. We have a fantastic principal and staff that's going to support us there at Pender High, and we have a fantastic teacher that's very excited about this. So it is my hope that when we start this up in the fall, that we can get some board members to come out there and maybe play some games and get some students. That would be great. We're going to start with Rocket League.
I'm there.
Right, Rocket League, which is very simple. It's like you just think of it as it's soccer with cars, right? So soccer with cars, and we would love for you all to come out and see how that develops. So that's all I got for you this afternoon. Just kind of want to give you a heads up on where we're going with this. We're excited about it, and we hope that it'll be something great.
Craig, is there any cost to it?
Oh, and it's free. So that's one of the great things partnering with Vessel. It is 100% free for us to partner with this company. They won't charge for our students to compete in the league with any of the other districts. We've already got the hardware in place at the school, so we're ready to go. We're excited about it.
Right.
Thank you
Sounds
all
like a
very much.
win-win. Any questions?
So we're creating sports online for kids to play against each other virtually.
Yes. Yes. It's, and again, I think that it's kind of a weird kind of concept, right? But the idea that, that video gaming, which again, when I was a kid, it was something that was not super popular or something that's out there is really becoming a huge industry. And we're seeing it grow.
Been around for quite some time.
And they are athletes, right? It takes a lot of concentration. It's interesting to see. They talk about, fitness. They talk about getting good sleep. They talk about eating healthy, right? All the things that you would think with the normal athlete. Teamwork is a big part of this. Communication, all those kind of soft skills that we think of when we think of maybe a traditional athletic competition. That's involved in esports, when students are working as a team to kind of compete online virtually against each other. So, and some school districts even stream it. UNCW actually streams their competitions, so you can go and see them compete. So it's pretty neat, an exciting thing.
Good.
Thank you all very much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, 8.3, updated draft budget, 2025 through 2026. Ms. Allen.
I feel non-exciting after coming after AI and esports, and then I throw a bunch of numbers out here at you all. Craig, thank you. I appreciate that. So these are numbers that we have already shown in prior meetings, but I do want to just share it for you all and for the public. Craig, if you go to the 2025, the local budget right there, that tab. Mm-hmm. So these are numbers that we've already submitted and proposed to the county at our meeting. So the proposed increase to maintain services, that just includes the additional cost of adding the increase in benefits, retirement, and the actual raise that the state has suggested. So it's $2.3 million. And then you will see a list of the items below. And these are our budget priorities that we have come up with to increase or advance services. And you will see the supplement increase for 1%, both classified and certified, our advanced teaching roles, some additional teaching positions, STEM, fine arts, gen ed, student support teaching positions, student support school admin, which means assistant principals, some receptionist and clerical support positions, 6.5 positions at each school, not 6.5 at each school, 6.5 across the district. They would get really excited about that. athletic supplement increases, that hasn't happened in several years, so we are past due. That is an incremental increase. We have that slated to go over a couple of years. And that's to try to get people back to our surrounding districts. Transition ACT boot camp. So that's us putting the focus back on education, specifically to prepare our other high school students, middle school students for transition from one school to the next school, and then for ACTs as well. Any questions about that? Okay, so if you go to the capital outlay requests, you guys have had the CIP schedule given to you all in previous meetings. We shared that with the county commissioners. We're very proud that it took a lot of work to make multiple years to spread out budget so that we can have a plan for over 5 years. Our original budget, last year's budget, was $2.9 million. With the number of buildings that we have, facilities, $2.9 million does not go very far. So on our first year, we are proposing an increase of $8.8 million, which means $11.7 million is what our request is. And you all know several times I've presented, been involved in the presentation of the budget over 3 years since I've been here. The county has asked, the board has asked, please give us a list and a priority list. And we have done that. Substantial amount of work's been put into that, and it will be a living document. It's just like our budgets at home. We do not know when our refrigerator is going to go out, our dishwasher is going to go out. Our dishwashers and refrigerators and air conditioners are substantially more costly. So all of those projects that we have listed in the first year on our CIP, any of that is subject to change based on what is needed at the time. Any questions or concerns about the request of the county or the budget for upcoming year?
I'm new here. When do they do the budget?
We have already met with them like on May,
there.
very beginning of May.
Yeah, I was there.
And so, yes, you were there. So they potentially won't tell us anything till June, July, the end of June, beginning of July. We do operate on a continuing budget resolution that I will bring to you next month, which allows us to keep the lights on and keep the bills paid and keep teachers paid until they actually get us a budget. And that time frame varies depending on the board and county manager. So.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Thank you all.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Nolan.
Next year I'll have a video game or something.
Yes, ma'am. Next is 8.4, Policy 4125, First Read, Mr. Taylor.
Good evening, members of the board. Come before you tonight with two policies that we would be conducting first read. The first policy is Policy 4125. This policy is related to our homeless students. And the purpose of these amendments would be to more closely align our homeless student policy with the State Board of Education policy that's currently in place. Our policy was first adopted in December of 2010, and the State Board policy has been amended 4 times since we last amended ours. You'll see on the first page specific examples of career and technical education to replace vocational and technical education. It's a terminology change. Same way with the academically or intellectually gifted AIG services. It used to be called gifted and talented. But those are just some minor changes. The real changes on the following pages are significant because of the reorganization of the policy in the State Board Association policy. Staff would recommend this item be advanced to second read upon board council review and approval. Are there any questions from the board regarding this policy?
No, sir, just a comment.
Yes, ma'am.
I noticed that this, some of your legal references are for McKinney-Vento Homeless Assistance Act.
Yes, ma'am.
And I just wanted to remind everyone, this particular policy came into effect, we used this during Florence.
Quite extensively.
Yes, and so keeping this policy up to date is very important,
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely.
because you never know what next fall will hold.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Any more questions, board? Okay. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, the next policy that we bring before you for first read is policy 4353. This policy deals with the long-term suspension, 365-day suspension, and expulsion. The primary reason for the request for consideration for amendment is to bring this policy into a more aligned fashion also with the State Board of Education, and removing specifically the tribunal. Oftentimes when we have appeal hearings, we have to recruit 3 individuals, administrators across the district in order to hear these cases. However, over time, those people are different, and sometimes the consistency of the hearing outcomes and things of that nature may be changing. So what we would like to do is more consistently hear these cases by assigning the Director of Student Services or myself, Chief Officer for Student Support Services, to be the hearing officer and hear the appeals. So again, in an effort to more closely align our long-term suspension hearing policy with the State Board of Education and promote a more consistent hearing practice upon board council review, we would like to advance this to the second read at the next regularly scheduled board meeting.
Okay, do we have any questions? Okay, and this is something that the board never hears any of these, correct? And this is just for staff, I guess you could
The
say,
board
committees.
can hear.
So, yeah, do you mind?
No, sir.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
so statutorily, it has to go through the superintendent before it gets to you. So there are certain student discipline matters that can only come before the board. For example, expulsions. As you guys know, you are the only entity that can expel a student on recommendation from the superintendent. Similarly, long-term suspension appeals, 365-day appeals, occasionally disciplinary reassignments if it's, dissatisfied with the superintendent's recommendation. So there are ways that it gets to the board, but generally speaking, you don't see that many of those.
Right.
Yep. So,
Okay.
thank you, Mr. Taylor. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Thank you for the explanation.
Any other questions?
No, sir, I think we're good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, at this time, we have come to number 9, our consent agenda. Would anybody like to take anything off of the consent agenda to discuss? Okay, or do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second? Okay, we have a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And the consent agenda is approved. At this time, we are going to our action agenda, number 10. 10.1, strategic planning approval. Mr. Kevin Taylor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll remember to speak up.
Thank you.
Puga always tells me I speak too softly. Everything that you're going to see tonight was shared at the committee of the whole as well. Thank you. I'll kind of go through this and just hit some highlights. It talks about the process of development of the strategic plan, just the amount of input that we had from all members that contributed. I think that's the biggest slide I want to hit right now. there. That's the amazing component of all this, and the commitment to the plan that was developed. You know, when you think about the number of people, the number of hours, 30 days of their time, and as I said last time, I didn't change the slide because I think it's important. That 30 days is 24 hours a day. I mean, sometimes we feel like we work 24 hours a day, but it's typically a little bit less than that. So just the amount of time that was invested in this, the response rate on takeaways, you know, they felt like the priorities were there. I'll draw everybody's attention to this last one again. I'd still be teaching if this was implemented. To me, that speaks volumes in terms of what we're looking at. This slide is new. This is the draft of our forward-facing document that will be going out to the public. Kudos to Mr. Lawson, Bob, for their creative eye. It wouldn't look anything like that if I had to create it, I can promise you. It'd be a lot of words. Again, just where we've came from is a 35,000 foot view down to the strategic alignment with our school improvement teams, which we'll be working on over the summer. Again, our vision, our mission is in there. We received positive feedback. We have 4 priority areas and the goals that are associated with those. One is focused on academic excellence, investment in all staff, investing in infrastructure, and investing in the community. Just real briefly, I don't need to say anything about academic excellence because that's what we're here for. And Dr. Sawyer and her team do a wonderful job of that. Investing in staff, that would be Melissa Wilson, retaining, recruiting staff members, not only teachers, but mechanics and bus drivers and everything else that makes every person that makes the school system run. Investing in infrastructure, that's where we get into the development of schools and refurbishment of some of our facilities that need to be improved. And then the last one, investing in community, and you can actually embed this in all 3 of the previous goals, but just making sure that our schools are accessible to our families, making sure that our families and students and the community feel welcome in their public spaces, which are our schools. Trying to garner input from them. And I can tell you that the work that we did as a team, this is the model for having that layer of stakeholder input. So we know how to do it now, right? Next steps upon approval, the what, the when, May and June will begin implementation and monitoring planning. What that basically means is we'll start developing our implementation plan and how we're going to monitor that. And I think it's important to understand that while the strategic plan does give us a roadmap, it gives us a lot of structure to be able to move forward with our plans for the district. It also holds us all accountable for what those performance standards are. The public rollout sometime in June, more than likely. That may bleed into July a little bit based on the testing results that we get are a little bit later than we'd like to. So we may end up finalizing some of this stuff in July, and then full implementation in August and September. The ask tonight is for the board to approve the strategic plan after 30 24-hour days of working on it, and then direct us to move forward with the development of the implementation plan and the other things on the what is next slide. Happy to answer any questions that you have as well. And I won't defer to anybody else. I'll answer myself if I can.
I didn't have any questions. I just had a comment. I wanted to thank you for inviting me to be part of that steering committee. I was able to attend all the meetings, except, of course, the very last one. But what really impressed me was how many community members. I mean, we really had a very good showing from every aspect of every group that touches Pender County schools. It was impressive, and I just wanted to say thank you to everyone for all the hard work that went into it, because I was there and I saw it.
Thank you for saying that. I mirror that with everyone else that was there, from the staff that we have to the parents and community members, business members, religious members,
Yes.
all the folks. So,
So at this time, we are open for a motion.
I make a motion, we approve the strategic plan.
Thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. And the motion is approved. Thank you very much.
thank you, Board.
Board Chair, can I make a comment?
Yes, please, sir.
First of all, thank you, Board, for adopting this. This has been a long time. We've been working on this. And I do want to point out, Mr. Taylor spearheaded this. He's going through his doctorate. While not pertaining to his dissertation, it is pertaining to his leadership, and it gave him a good opportunity in our community to lead our community in this strategic plan, and also want to thank the steering committee as a whole and the work that they did. It was a great process that we used, and just a lot of time and effort on everybody's part. But once again, my team here took everybody. And so thank you all for approving this, and this will give us good direction moving forward as a school system. And it gives us some accountability as well, that we're making progress. And we will continue to update the board on that progress as we move throughout this plan. So thank you very much.
Could not agree more. Thank you, sir. On to 10.2. 2026 through 2029 AIG plan. Dr. Sawyer.
All right. So every 3 years, school districts are required to rewrite a new AIG plan on how we identify AIG students, enrich and extend them through the core curriculum, provide opportunities for gifted learners, and experiences for K-3 students to develop their talents. I am going to invite Dr. Lee up to give you a little overview as the one in charge of our AIG programming. And at the end, we're recommending approval by the board.
Thanks, Sonia. I did most of this. Sorry. So one thing, I'm just going to highlight a couple of things here. One thing about AIG, we want across our schools, our students are AIG all day, every day, not just when a specialist is in the building. These are our Pender County Schools goals, which help us provide instruction and meet the needs of our AIG identified students. We also follow North Carolina AIG program standards, which there are 6 of them, and I highlight just 1 or 2 things on each one. Standard 1, identification. Students can recommend themselves to be tested. If they think they're gifted, parents can nominate their students, also staff members. Currently, we have 1,362 identified students across the district, which accounts for 12.4% of our total population. With a Standard 2 just guides how we instruct our students across the total school. 3 is curriculum. With the curriculum, we use our core curriculum to extend it so it enriches our AIG students in K-8. In 9th grade, when they get to high school, it's more of the offerings. It's AP, it's our CCP courses, and our partnerships with the community college, Pender Early College. We also started a CAP program that our students participate in, which they can stay in their traditional schools and receive an associate's degree out of their traditional schools if they don't want to go to Pender Early College. 4, this is just our personnel. Most of our personnel are our specialists are in elementary, because sometimes they'll pull during specialist time to decrease those numbers, and then it gives them a pace to be with students who are identified in similar identifications as they are. Again, list of our professional developments. We provide professional development to our specialists, which sometimes is led by the state, our teachers, and our administrators. Standard 5 talks about our partnerships. Our partnerships range from advisory board to partnerships with local businesses, our colleges. We have Gifted Gab, which we give out to parents quarterly. We also have parent nights, and we try to have them on both sides of the district just because of traffic and, you know, parents working. They're usually in the evening around 6, 7 o'clock. Standard 6 is program accountability. We're in our 3-year cycle. Every 3 years, what we do, we go to the state. They give us new standard, information on new standards. We collect stakeholder feedback. We look at our academic data, our social emotional data from the past 3 years of our AIG students, and then we write a new plan. Hence the reason why we're here tonight to ask you to approve our new plan. You see here the dollar amount that we had for this past year. We always receive from the state 4% of our total population. Of that dollar amount, 85% goes to salaries and benefits. So, like Dr. Sawyer said, we're asking for you guys to approve our AIG plan for the next 3 years. Are there any questions?
Is the 12% number, is that something to get excited about?
Yes, we also have a number of nurtured students who don't reach that threshold, but they're right there and they need a little more. So we pull them as well to nurture them. So that number is not included, you know, when we report it to the state. So it's probably somewhere towards 16, 17% because we pull so many of those students. We don't identify the 3rd grade, so it's a lot of our K2 students as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, any more questions? Okay, at this time, do we have a motion?
Make the motion.
Thank you. We do have a motion,
I'll second.
and we have a second. Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And the motion is approved. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, 10.3 CTE 2025 through 26 plan update. Dr. Sawyer.
All right. So CTE updates their local plan on a yearly basis. So I'm going to invite Mr. Bates up to talk about, give you a little bit of an overview on those updates to our 2024-2025 plan moving towards next year.
Good evening, board. It's an honor and a privilege to be here to talk about CTE. Honor and privilege to be Pender County Schools CTE Director. So thank you all for all of your support. This is an update for our local plan for, says 24-25. And some of the data that you'll see will be from 23-24 because we're still in the 24-25 school year. Pender County Schools CTE is our vision to equip our students with the tools to become enrolled, enlisted, or employed upon graduation. Our goals: produce a qualified workforce pipeline, improve our graduation rates by increasing CTE concentrators and CTE majors, align our post-secondary pursuits to CTE concentration areas, increase CTE program enrollment and completion, increase industry recognized credentials, and increase positive post-secondary placement, which is enrolled, enlisted, employed. CTE does have federal accountability attached to it, and every accountability measure has a CTE concentrator component. And so that's why we push so hard for our students to become a CTE concentrator, which means that they matriculate through a CTE pathway of study. Okay, CTE concentrators graduate at a 98% graduation rate, and so that's one of the main reasons. They do take our ACT Work Keys exam. CTE concentrators their positive placement rate for enrolled, enlisted, or employed is greater than 98%. 82% of CTE concentrators earn industry recognized credentials. We do want to push beyond a CTE concentrator for our students here in Pender County. We want them to be what we call a CTE major. And what a CTE major gives those students is the matriculation through the pathway of study. So they complete that pathway of study, and then we add on what we call a major course, which would be like an internship or a pre-apprenticeship. And so they get that work experience to go along with the classroom content. Just some numbers over the past 3 years. What you see right here is our high school 4-year cohort graduation rates. The number of CTE concentrators. As you can see, we have increased CTE concentrators from 37% to 46.3% to last school year, 48.2%. That's 325 out of our 674 graduates from last school year. So we are getting there. And then here's for the graduation rates. As you can see, right in the orange is the state of North Carolina. That's the graduation rate for state of North Carolina. The blue is Pender County Schools, which is always above 90%. And the green is CTE concentrators, which are at 97 and 98% across the board. One thing that I do want to brag about is our improvement in our CTE proof of learning. The proof of learning is basically the student's exam that show that they have mastered the content at the end of their semester. And so overall, and this is the past 2 years, overall, this past school year, we grew 8 points. But what you're looking at is a chart of all of our groups of students in special populations, right? For examples, individual with disabilities grew from 61 to 70% proficiency. Economically disadvantaged grew from 55 to 81% proficiency. English learners grew from 38% proficiency to 70. That's huge. Our students with disabilities, 61 to 70. And then our non-traditional concentrators, 75 to 86. And so we're making a huge push to provide the supports for our students in those groups of special populations. Credential comparison. So for over the past 4 years, we have grown in our credentials earned, as well as the credential attainment percentage. We've grown from 48.75% to last year, 83.5% credential attainment. We are in the North, for the past 2 years, we've been in the North Carolina top 10. This past school year, we were in for credentials earned, which that's a spot that we should not really be in, but we're there. So we're gonna take it. We were number 9 in credentials earned, and so we're up there with your Guilford County and Charlotte Meck and Union County and larger school districts. Career development plans, there's new legislation that started this school year that all middle school students must initiate a career development plan before being promoted to high school, and then the CDP must be updated before 10th grade promotion as of March 19th. Pender County Schools was 100% compliant to that legislation. Enhancements in CTE, we have our Paxton Patterson labs in the middle schools for career exploration. Pender School High, we have our ag and our barn. We have our barn and we have our tractor and ag. We have school-based enterprises through our entrepreneurship courses. We're working on a MOU with Novant Health. We're starting certified medical assistant courses next school year. We are starting to offer more honors courses. And so Dr. Sawyer and Dr. Lee are leading us and helping our teachers understand what it truly means to offer an honors course. And so there'll be more CTE offerings. Next year, JROTC will officially be a part of CTE. And we have a partnership with the Be Pro, Be Proud truck. It's all virtual reality, career simulations, all in one truck. We had a shed and a vote competition, and we even have students earning credentials in middle school. And so our priorities for this upcoming year is to increase our CTSO, Career and Technical Student Organization involvement in middle school, increase our CTE pathway majors for our students, continue to prescribe professional development for our teachers, increase the offerings of industry credentials that we actually offer, and continue to just push enrolled, enlisted, and employed. And ensure that we're 100% compliant to the career development plan legislation. Once again, increase the vertical alignment to make sure that we're aligned with our local and regional labor market needs. It's a recommendation that our board approves our plan. We need this approved so that we can receive our funds for the 25-26 school year. You have any questions?
I have no questions.
I have no questions either, but I did have a comment to make. Rumor has it that this past weekend you got a second master's degree.
I did.
Congratulations, Mr. Bates. We're
Thank you.
proud of you. Thank you for all you do. At this time, do we have a motion to approve the CTE plan update?
Make a motion.
Have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
And a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And it is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you and congratulations, sir. 10.4, 2025-2026 pre-K calendar. Dr. Sawyer.
All right, last one for me tonight. So Head Start approves their calendar for next year. We're looking at the only difference in the calendar from our traditional schools is that there are 2 additional workdays, and they're required to do home visits for all of our pre-K kids. So they need those additional 2 days in order to get those home visits done. It does meet all the requirements for Head Start and NC pre-K school year as well. Any questions?
I got one, but I don't know if I should ask it. I'm gonna ask it
Go
anyway.
ahead.
When they go do the home visits, they're not going by themselves, are they?
I will ask Ms. Pullen to answer that question. No, they do not.
Thank you.
2
Okay,
people.
that eases my mind right there. Okay, thank you. That's it.
Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Mr. Hall with the motion. Do we have a second?
A second.
Mr. Spivey with a second.
Thank
All
you.
in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And it is approved. Thank you very much. 10.5, new KA natural gas easement proposal. Mr. Michael Taylor.
Good evening again. This evening I have 3 items of action. The first being the proposed natural gas easement for our new school. We did enter into a service agreement with Piedmont Natural Gas, who will be installing a service line down 210 to our school property. We currently are in the works with P&G and Bordeaux to work on the easement to the back of the school where the utility structures will be for the gas hookups. The first thing we need to do is get your permission to engage the county, Pender County government, because the property is actually in their name. So I would work with their, the land remains in the county's name until the school is built and opened. And then there's a transfer process. Some of our schools still have not had transfer process, but that would be one of the things that we would want to work on.
When are you planning on presenting that?
Sir?
When are you planning on making that presentation to them, or going to talk to them, or are they already working behind the scenes on that, Brandon?
Yeah, so I had a conversation with Mr. Trey Thurman. As you guys know, recently the staff attorney for Pender County resigned. So there are a lot of things that Mr. Thurman has inherited that he's working through. This is one of them. And so between Mr. Taylor, Mr. Thurman, and myself, we'll work on it. I would recommend that Mr. Thurman be the one to present it to the county, and I think that's probably the best way to go about it. Now, Mike can be there for questions, but it's an easement across their property that's necessary for utility, so it's not that big of a deal.
Could we, since we're voting on this, could we go ahead and vote that upon their approval, that we also approve it so that we don't have to come back and discuss all this again.
I think this authorizes you to do whatever, like, this will be the only approval you need.
Yes, sir.
is
As
this
long
one.
as you approve for me to work with Pender County government in order for them to work
What,
through the easement.
what you gonna do
process.
once the property has our name on it?
The easement would still, we would probably have to do an amendment to the deed, right, with the easement then?
Just trying to make it simpler, but whatever.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this will have to come back to you.
I make a motion that we approve it.
A second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 And the motion is approved. Thank you very much. 10.6, cloud-based video retrieval system for our buses.
Let me ask you a question before you
Yes, sir.
start. These people's packet is 200 pages long.
I'm sorry?
The
Oh.
packet for this is
Yes, sir.
200 pages long for this one. What is all that stuff in there?
Well, in complete transparency, I wanted you to have all the documentation that they provided us, specifically that related to the questions regarding the security of our data. The AWS cloud-based management system that they utilize, they put all of those details in there, and sir, and I just, instead of just giving you the
So,
layman's statement, I wanted you to have that information as well as our stakeholders
So-
in the community.
if someone were to hack into that and steal the videos from the cloud, Brandon, this is probably for you, would we or would we not be liable for that?
If they get into AWS to get into those videos, there are lots of people who have lots bigger problems than just us. Because you're talking about multiple layers of encryption in multiple places that you have to get in to get through now. Now, will it be your problem? Maybe, but because it's the vendor's going to have contract liability for any negligence for possessing your data.
That
So,
would be our problem then.
no, I said, the only reason it would be your problem is because it's your vendor, but you would bring in that vendor.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So if anybody wanted to come after you, you say, no, 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 no. The
And-
person who broke,
Part of that is my fault because while we were in committee, I did ask
Yes, ma'am.
what the security was like
Good.
for that cloud-based program. And
You look at Power
the
School
reason,
right now.
right,
Same.
the reason he included all of
No,
that, and
this
that's
is-
why I asked, was Power School.
this is, I mean, once again, if this AWS entity were to get
This
hacked,
$125,000 is, did I read it right, that it's one time, it's from one fund, and then the recurring expenses are from another?
That's correct. Our initial capital investment would be just like any of our video systems that we placed on our buses previously. We, as a local entity, place the capital, but then the recurring cost is a state 056 transportation fund. It's part of the calculated funds that we receive each year for transportation.
So even the initial investment is that local money or state money?
The initial investment is local, yes, sir.
Okay. But the recurring is state money?
But all recurring is state funded, yes, sir.
Okay.
It's part of the allowable expenditures under 056.
And this is
And
going to make,
AWS thankfully is a much more secure platform than Power School's own
Oh, yeah.
servers. So AWS is a multinational and international.
I was just reading through it in the head. I mean, it was
Yes, sir.
200 pages
Yes, sir.
in this packet.
and this is going to make staff's job much easier in going back to review.
Yes, ma'am. For our assistant principals in particular, who have to obtain those SD cards off of the buses, they wind up having to go to another school perhaps, or work through transportation to obtain them.
It's pretty archaic.
This will help us much more efficiently address any concerns that occur on our buses that are reported by our parents or our bus drivers.
Does this integrate with the old cameras that are already there, any?
I'm
Or is it
fairly
all new equipment?
certain that the cameras remain the same. It's the capacity to transmit it to the cloud. Yes, sir.
All right.
So we
Says-
do not have to replace all the cameras, thankfully. It would be a much larger cost.
Can you see it in real time or close to it?
Yes, sir.
That's one of the good aspects of this is if, we have those days where a child goes missing, even though they're not missing, we're just not quite sure where they are. In real time, you log right in, that AP or that administrator can pull that video and watch it in real real time and see what's going on. So from a conduct standpoint on the bus, from just locating children and students, it's very versatile for that. And as far as the security part goes, the system has no data into it related to students. The only thing they would breach would be video. The downside of that would if they were able to breach it, it sounds like a very secure system, but it would only show locations, pickups, drop off, but there is no actual data. It is not incorporated with our data system, so there's nothing for them to breach as far as internally for student data, addresses, names, social security numbers, anything like that.
So you can be in your office and decide, I'll make up a number, I wanna look at bus 301. Can you see it as it's going down the road right now? What's going on in it right this second?
Yes, sir. This would be great for assistant principals to do bus evaluations. Right now, the policy states that they have to actually ride on a bus. Not a bad policy, but on the other hand, this will allow them at any point in time to log in and see that bus in real time. If there's an issue, we're implementing the radios on the buses, so if there's a radio call, that there's a situation on the bus, the bus driver's main priority is to keep their eyes on the road and keep their students safe. So at any point in time, if the special word is spoken, AP can log in and watch it in real time and allow that driver to stay safe and keep their eyes focused on the road.
So APs actually they have to evaluate every driver, correct? So that means they're having to ride an entire route at some point.
Well, every route.
I know, because that's a different driver.
Right.
Yep, so I mean, okay. That's all I got. Sorry about that. Just
No, sir.
Get them out of the way to start with, so.
I think it's important, yes, sir. This would assist us in the effort to improve efficiency related to the video retrieval of the video footage, like I said previously. And it does allow immediate access as the bus is traveling down the road. Just as we use our Synovia system currently to track buses, it's uploaded cellularly every few minutes or seconds, actually. So this would allow us to do the same thing with actual video footage. The fiscal implications, as mentioned, are $125,308.74, which would be funded from Fund 4 Capital for the initial investment. All recurring costs would then be funded through Fund 1 or 056 state transportation allotments that we're giving annually. Staff recommends board approval for purchase and moving the project forward. Are there any other questions?
I make a motion that we approve it.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And the motion is approved. Thank you very much. We are now on to
The final item,
10.8, new K-8 school naming.
yes, ma'am.
I have
The
an
final
item that I
item,
added as 10.8 earlier, so.
Yes,
One's gotta be 10.8, one's gonna be 10.9, correct? So which is it?
I was gonna have 10.9. I'd already written 10.9 as your,
Yeah, but did I add it, did I say it in the motion as 10.8?
you did say it in the motion as 10.8. Do we need to?
I think we need to do it that way and then I don't know, you,
I mean, I think you do the naming of the K-8 school is 10.7 because you deleted an item.
Oh,
and moved it
okay.
up.
We can do that.
but the motion to amend the agenda did not include the name of the school. When I did that initially.
Right.
Can we fix that now?
Yeah, so 10.8 is supposed to be graduation time. And so by virtue of eliminating 10.7, we could do 10 point, we already had it at 10.8, so we can make, this is not that complicated, but the question is, you can, Madam Chair, decide whether or not you want to have graduation time at 10.8, or if you want to have the naming of the new school at 10.8.
But it depends on how I made the motion, because I made the motion and I made it a specific way.
Yeah, you said you.
In order for it to be legal, it must be stated correctly.
Yeah,
So I think we need to redo another change to the agenda to get it correct. It's my opinion, but y'all do what you want to.
Okay, 'cause your
I just don't want to come back later and be told it was illegal.
Well, let's have another amendment to the agenda.
That's what I think does that make sense to everybody?
Okay, go ahead.
So 10.8 is what item?
10.8 is currently, according to the motion, graduation time. So we need to determine if the new K-8 school is 10.9. I think that is the motion that needs to be addressed.
So should we address 10.8 first and then see if the amendment is going to be amended?
We just have two 10.8s, so we just gotta figure out which one you got first. Does that make sense? So I would recommend the motion be for 10.8 to be graduation time, because that's what the motion was. And then 10.9 to be new K-8 school
But
name.
that motion has been made as 10.8 only. We forgot about a name change at the time. So now we need to correct something to make that happen.
So make a motion for 10.8
9.
to become 10.9 for the new school, for the new K-8. Instead of new school K-8 being 10.8, it can become 10.9.
That's right.
That motion.
If that's all legal, then I'll make that motion right now.
I'll second.
Okay, the motion has been made and seconded. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, very well, thank you. Motion is approved. 10.8, high school graduation times.
All right, that was mine that I wanted added. And for 2 years in a row, I've always said something about some of these middle of the day high school graduations that typically used to be in the evening so that people that have to work could come to it without having to take off. So my proposal is, and it's my understanding that this time it's a school-based decision. Staff, correct me if I'm wrong. My proposal is that for next year, let me repeat that, next year, not this year. This has already been decided. Is that the Board of Education make the decision of the time and date. At least the timing. I don't see how we could do that without the date, though. And I, for one, would be willing to hear input from schools on that, but I just know what people tell me, and people tell me that they can't come at 9 o'clock in the morning on, a Wednesday or Thursday or whatever. That's my opinion. If somebody's got other opinions, then you can listen to that too, but. So the reason I wanted it on action is just so that we can either agree or not agree to pick this subject up at a later time, next meeting or a couple of meetings. I mean, we got a year, so that would be what I think. So with that, I make a motion that we, at some point before, let's say August, maybe over the summer, that we look into this matter for next year's graduation and let the Board of Education decide. So that's my motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And the motion is approved. Thank you very much. Okay, now on to 10.9, new K-8 school naming. Well, let's see, we can have a, yeah.
The last action item for the evening is the naming of the new K-8 school. In accordance with policy 9300, staff is providing, through superintendent's direction, names for the new school. Prior to Mr. Gerganis's exit, they had begun working on the collecting the recommended names from the communities and things of that nature. There were 2 surveys conducted. Those surveys were fairly aligned, and the most popular name selected for the new school by the community stakeholders is Hampstead Elementary and Hampstead Middle School. There are currently no fiscal implications because the school has not been branded yet. Staff recommendation is to approve the proposed name of Hampstead Elementary and Hampstead Middle School as the survey indicated.
Okay, as we heard here tonight, there were several who showed up to speak. about naming our new high school after, I believe, J.H. Lee. If there were to be a motion for that tonight, we would have to suspend our facility naming policy.
Correct.
9300, thank you. So if anyone wanted to make a motion that, currently, right now, our policy is to name facilities after the location that they are in. For right now, however, if we were considering a name for a person, we would have to suspend that particular policy.
I make a motion that we suspend policy 9300.
Can we do that without, as a separate motion, without changing the agenda? I think so, correct?
Because it's already.
Good, then I second that motion.
Yep. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
I want to make a motion that we name the new K-8 school J.H. Elementary and J.H. Middle School.
J.H. Lee?
J.H. Lee, sorry, J.H. Lee Elementary and J.H. Lee Middle School.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a second?
I will second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And the motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. That concludes our action agenda for tonight. At this time, we will have comments from board members. Mr. Hall?
I have none.
Yes, no. Mr. Spivey?
I have a
Mr.
little.
Reeves?
I have a little, sorry.
Okay.
I know it's a long meeting. I'm very appreciative of the naming of the school J.H. Lee. You can tell I'm really moved by it. I think it was, like Ms. Morgan said, our heritage is, gonna be gone if we don't preserve it, so. I have a couple real quick ones. Ms. Hanson and I went to West Pender Middle and met with Ms. Garza, and, wow, what a principal we have here. We toured the school, spent about 2 hours with her showing us, she took junk rooms and made them into usable spaces. And I just thought that was just outstanding that, she took it upon herself to do that. The kids were nice and respectful, polite, and I can tell that, that academically, they're on the right path, and it was a great experience. She reminds me a lot of myself, that if you're not gonna do something, just get out of her way and she's gonna do it herself. And I just love that. She's a go-getter and a doer, and I love that, and they're doing a great job at West Pender. I went yesterday to Burgaw Middle. And where did I do that? Okay, went to Burgaw Middle, I'm sorry. I'm just a little emotional about the naming of the school. Went to Burgaw Middle with Mr. Allen. He took me on a tour of the school for about an hour, and I was pleasantly surprised at the inside of the school compared to the outside. It was really nice, neat, and clean, nice sized classrooms and great staff. I just wish we could do something with the outside of that school, because if you look at the outside, it doesn't even begin to tell the story on the inside. I understand, and I saw that they brought that school's grade up from an F to a D, and he said they're on their way to a C. He's been there 2 years now, and he's doing a great job, and the attendance is also up. So he's a great leader, and a great asset to our Pender County school family. So a great job. I want to give credit to Mr. Hall. I went in the cafeteria and looked at the food. I didn't taste it this time. I usually eat there. And it was great. I mean, everything was nice, neat. Airmark, great job again. And I'll tell you if it's not, because I go to all of them. It was a great job. I just want to give Mr. Hall credit for giving Airmark what they needed to make these lunches better for these kids. And he did that at my very first meeting, and I'm just, just so appreciative of that, and I know everybody else is too. So thank you, Mr. Hall. And that's all I have.
Thank Thank you, Mr. Reeves. First and foremost, I wanted to say a big thank you to the Pender County Commissioners for reinstating our Priority 1 meetings. Our first meeting is going to be this week. For anyone who doesn't know, Priority 1 is a meeting with usually the board chairs and the vice chairs, or any of the commissioners, any two commissioners who want to attend the meeting. And we also take along our superintendent, the county manager, our finance folks. And we're going to sit down and have a talk about how we can help each other out, what some of our expectations are. Basically, just have a good conversation about how we can help each other. So I'm really excited about that. And I think it's very past due. Also, I had the honor to attend the Pender County Schools Award Dinner last week, and I wanted to say congratulations to all the winners. I have never seen that many gifts on a table in my life. I thought the table was going to break, but it was awesome. Our community is very generous when it comes to our schools, and we cannot say thank you enough. Also, wanted to have a couple of shout outs to Miss Bellflower over at Topsail Annandale Elementary, and also Miss Bates over at South Topsail Elementary. Had an opportunity to go in and talk to these two principals this month, and it was, as always, it's great visiting them, and it's always great to see the little ones. So that would conclude my comments for tonight.
Ms. Bates, when
Mr.
she gets done, why don't you come up and tell us what you got going on at your school, since you're here.
I'm sorry, Miss Bates. I know you do. Because you've got a good one out there. You're doing a great job.
Mr. Hall, is there anything in specific you would like?
No, just tell us what you got since you're here.
Okay, absolutely. So currently we are obviously in testing season. So we are in the mornings. Earmark has done a great job of creating a really cool menu for our students, and each day has a theme for our students. We also have awards ceremonies that are coming up. We just finished Muffins with Moms in all of our grade levels and Mother's Day teas. We are also excited about the Boys and Girls Club being at South Topsail this year, and they've allowed us to employ our teachers as another opportunity for our teachers to stay in the school building. And so we're excited about partnering with the Boys and Girls Club, and we've had lots of meetings and established spaces. We also are holding compensatory and EC services at South Topsail, so excited about EC staff coming in and supporting our students. So we're getting geared up for that, and reading camps that will happen in June. We've been doing a lot of projects, painting the front foyer of our office. We've completed that. We're working with Empire Graphics to get a nice big acrylic logo that will be in our front office. So we're excited about those things that are to come. And then I'm working closely with our department as we are going to have a new pre-K hut and modular in the back of our school. So gearing up for construction on site. So lots of great things happening at South Topsail that we're excited about. Come check us out anytime you want.
Miss Bates, thank you.
Absolutely.
That was impromptu, I know, but you did great.
Can I say one more thing, Beth, Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
I wanted to
Mr.
thank I think we have 4 teachers in the back there. I want to thank y'all for coming out and the great job that y'all do. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we are going to number 12, comments from the board attorney.
Really quickly, Board, it is a very busy season in Raleigh right now. The crossover deadline has come and gone. There are several bills that were on the radar that did not make crossover, but there are several that did, including different versions of the calendar, school calendar bill. So I would recommend paying attention to those. There's also been a lot of excitement surrounding modifications to the math and social studies grading requirements. And lastly, there's AEDs and CPR in public schools, which seems to be something that has gained a lot of attention. I will say that, I feel like this is a bill that gets a lot of attention, but I feel like we already have it. Like CPR is something that has to be omnipresent in most of our athletic facilities. The AEDs have to be present. So these are just some, smatterings of bills. But honestly, the big 500-pound gorilla in the room is the state budget. I have heard different whispers from different folks about when that's going to be out and about. The most recent pontification was that it was going to take place no later than July. That would be wonderful. We would all be very excited about that. Outside of that, we could have one quick comment about federal funding. Federal funding is something that is going on right now. There's a hard look that's being given to the Department of Education. There's internal proposals of cutting the Federal Department of Education in their budget, which may or may not have implications to school districts. But I would say pay attention. Make sure you're reading your email, staying attuned as best you can. Until anything's finalized, I wouldn't be very concerned, but I do know that that is an area, funding cuts flow downhill. So generally speaking. With that, Madam Chair, that ends my report.
Okay, thank you, Mr. McPherson. At this time, do we have a motion for closed session?
I will make that motion if Mr. McPherson will read it, please. Since he has it memorized in his in his head. Every word of it.
Yeah. I move that the board enter into closed session subject to the advice from the attorney pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-318.11A1 and A6 to prevent the disclosure of confidential personnel information under General Statute 115C-319 and to consider matters related to personnel matters. The board will also enter into closed session pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-318A3 to consult with the board's attorney in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege and to consider confidential student matters as required by North Carolina General Statute 143-318A1 in the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act 20 U.S.C. 123G and North Carolina General Statute 115C 402.
All right, I will make the motion as Mr. McPherson has just stated it.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And motion is approved. We are now in closed session. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. We are back from closed session. At this time, can we have a motion to come out of closed session?
I'll make the motion to come out of closed session.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye. Thank you. We are out of closed session. Do we have a motion to approve the HR report?
I make a motion to approve the HR report.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And the HR report has been approved. At this time, I believe there was another motion
Let me do it.
to amend the agenda, correct?
I will make a motion that we amend the agenda to discuss the RFQs concerning the new school that is being built right now.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Okay, and now we will have a discussion on that RFQ for, let's see. Project Management Support Services for the new K-8 school. Thank you, Mr. McPherson.
Good evening, Board.
Good evening.
What we have is the results of our RFQ for our project manager position for the new school. Just to review briefly, we posted our RFQ. The deadline was 4/24 at 3 p.m. We had 11 respondents. On the following day, on 4/25 at 10 a.m., we opened each of the documents. Then a committee met on 4:30 at 9 a.m. to review each of these proposals. That was a four-person committee, consisted of myself, Mike Taylor, Bill Nelson, and Mr. Lauren Macon. We reviewed each of the proposals on several items related to their ability to meet our expectations. Those consisted of the general qualifications, their experience with projects of this type, their experience with pre-construction, their experience with during construction type of activities, and then just an overall reputation of the group. We graded each of the 11, and what I am presenting to you tonight are the 3 finalists. We found all of them to meet each of the requirements that we asked, and we have those before you now.
Which one are y'all recommending?
To be honest with you, sir, we like all 3. Each 3 gave us very complete recommendations. But we felt like they all hit each element that we wanted. And I believe a wise next step might be to get a price and just to see exactly what we're talking about before we took the next step.
I agree.
If we don't have that, we need to do that.
I agree.
Okay. Do we have a motion for our operations chief to proceed with getting prices, I guess an RFQ?
Absolutely, yes, please.
Okay.
I'll make that motion, or let him make it.
Okay, we have a motion from Mr. Spivey and a
I'll second.
second from Mr. Hall. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And the motion carries. Thank you very much. Do we have anything else on the agenda? Okay, at this time, we will take motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion and a second.
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
And this meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone. Have a good evening.